Good afternoon, all. Welcome. We're ready to start our meeting. We're ready to start the GCC regular board meeting, November the 12th at 4:45 p.m. Roll call. Mark Anderson. Here. Harry Block. Here. Bruce Mandrick. He
absent, but will be late.
Will be late. Jack Turner.
Present.
And Lily Campbell. Board members are present and accounted for. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to those of you who are here and brave the sunshine and the cool weather. And welcome to those of you who are watching us virtually. We're so glad to see you, so glad to have you, and thank you so very, very much for being here with us. Do we have public comments for today?
We do not have any public comments.
No public comments for today. Thank you. And so we will continue with our regular board meeting. At this time, we will be privileged with the superintendent's update.
Okay. Thank you, Madam President. Good afternoon, members of the board, and to everyone that's here tonight, good afternoon and welcome to our board meeting. I just want to take a moment and just give a happy belated birthday to our own board member and treasurer, Mr. Anderson. Happy birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
We saved the buttons and the singing for another time. Board, I had the opportunity to host our first Superintendent Student Advisory Council meeting in October, and again, I met with the students on October the 30th. During that time, we actually started the initial conversations regarding our cell phone policy, the cell phone ban that has come up from some new legislation that was passed. I will tell you, very, very insightful conversations with our students who are somewhat supportive and think that cell phones should have already been banned. So was happy that they're already in that space. They also had the opportunity to meet with the team from Thrive to provide feedback on our strategic plan so that once again we have that student input. I had the opportunity to complete my annual fall tours, visiting all of our school sites. It was really nice to be on the campus, not only to have the opportunity to talk with that leader, but also to look at their instructional program, to see how they're fulfilling their work around our MTSS as well as our school learning plan. So it was really good to actually have an opportunity to be in the campuses and on each of the campuses, and I want to affirm each of our administrators for their hard work and support in making those fall tours a reality. On November the 6th, we were honored to have a group here to look at our community schools partnership program. They did something that's called a deep dive, and they're working closely with Sergey Terekov and our community engagement team to strengthen family support across our schools. They took some time to visit Community Outreach Academy to see our impactful community initiatives. And so what's neat about this is we're the only charter school in the state, our charter organization, that is having this opportunity to have this deep dive work done. It does include a few extra dollars as part of our funding, but really it's more about the learning for people to come and learn from us. So I want to take a moment to affirm Sergey and his work around that. Coming up on tomorrow at 9:30, we have our CCCS Care Fair. There's Michelle and John back there. So if you have some time in your schedule, whether you're a board member or just a member of the GCC team or another school, go by. The Care Fair is one of those phenomenal events where they bring in our community partners and others, not only to support our students, but our families. So thank you so much, CCCS, for that work. This is how many years now? All right, 10 years doing the Care Fair, so great job with that. We've also been honored to the past week host our Twin Rivers oversight visit. This year, Twin Rivers contracted with an outside group to look at our instructional programs, and they utilize a former superintendent of Western Placer Unified School District, Mr. Scott Lehman, to come out, By the way, if you know anything about Lincoln, there's a school named after him.
Yes.
But he came out and conducted a number of our visits with our schools. He still has some more to do this week, and Assistant Superintendent Takoy has been working and kind of managing that time and discussions with them. He's spending about 15 to 20 minutes in classes and actually looking a little more deeper at some of our instructional practices. So really excited to continue to see what that final report will look like. We started and held our first Teacher Leaders Kickoff Mixer on October the 23rd, followed by our first Teacher Leader Session on October the 25th, working together with Assistant Superintendent Takoy to really work with this fantastic and phenomenal group of educators. This year, we expanded teacher leaders to not only include our certificated teaching staff, but also classified staff members. So it was really a great opportunity to begin to start that work with them. They'll be meeting with us over how many? 6 sessions? 6 times this year. On November the 6th, we hosted our first ever, and I think you probably will talk about this a little bit later, but I'm so proud that we hosted our Gateway Community Charters College and Career Fair. Want to affirm the really dedicated work of our College and Career Readiness team led by Ashley Madden. Thank you. Good. Yeah, give her a hand. This was an opportunity to connect with industry partners, higher ed, and to really help our students explore future pathways and career possibilities. We had students from all of our secondary schools that came together for this. So in the spirit of teaming up, thank you so much. Great work, and I'm quite sure, again, you'll share a little bit more with us later on. Finally, our wine, cheese, and chocolate event was on November the 6th, and the foundation was very happy to host this. We really call it a friend raiser, but we want to give a heartfelt thank you to our board members as well as all of our administrators for joining us for this special night and pulling this together. A special acknowledgement to our foundation for their dedication and hard work in making these events important and there for our students. And so with that being said, that is my report tonight.
Thank you very much. Board members, any comments? Any comments, questions? Hearing none, thank you so much for your dedication and your hard work.
Madam President,
Yes.
if you allow me one more minute, you see that group of little junior scientists. Is that, Angie, is that the group of my little junior scientists? Yes. What grade were they? All right, so that's the
Oh, my
kindergarten
goodness.
students at CCCS TK8. That day, they were doing some scientific exploration, and I had a chance to spend some time in their class. So I just wanted to acknowledge my little scientists there. Very good group.
Thank you. And we will talk a little bit more about the career fair and all of that in our report. So hopefully you'll be here to hear that because I thoroughly enjoyed it. So thank you for mentioning it again. All right, and with that, we will go into our study session. And the first one will be Student Report Update, GIS. And I'm just anxiously awaiting to see our students and to hear from them. So we are ready for you.
Thank you, Madam President and members of the board. I'm really excited to bring to you our first student presentation for the year. As you remember, last year we started this process to be able to begin to hear from our students in terms of their experience and to kind of bring a little bit of a connection for the board to our schools. And so I'm going to ask Principal/Director Dillon to come up. I'm still struggling with the title. It's like GIS Principal, Director of SPED and Student Services. But Principal Dillon, if you'll introduce your wonderful students tonight.
Yeah, good evening, Madam President, board members, Superintendent Semple, Cabinet. Tonight, I have the honor of presenting 2 of our GIS students, Gracia Ruiz Ortiz and Samuel Gavaloski. Guys, do you guys want to come on up? And I'm going to pass the mic to them to present about Gateway International School to you guys.
Good evening, Superintendent Sample, Board President Campbell, and Board of Directors. Thank you for inviting us this evening. I am Grecia Ruiz Ortiz, Student Council President, and I will be presenting with Samuel Gavilovsky. We would like to recognize our peer Arthur, our Student Council Treasurer, for helping us with presentation. I've been in the Student Council for the 3 years I've attended GIS, which has led me to becoming the president. I like to attend GIS because if there's a problem, the teachers try their best to come up with a solution, which gives me a sense of trust and safety. I'm excited to represent GIS and show its amazing achievements.
Good evening. My name is Samuel Gavilovsky. Right now, I'm in 7th grade, and I have been in GIS for 5 years. Math is my favorite subject, and Mr. Riley is the best. He makes math fun.
GIS is an international baccalaureate school. Our primary years program was authorized in 2016 and middle years program in 2018. IB Learning is an inquiry-based method that encourages global-mindedness and skills to help us in the future.
High-performing charter schools have high-quality education. GIS earned this ranking because we have shown success in our academic programs and in our ability to serve English language learners.
Capturing kids' hearts is used by teachers, students, and staff all the time to get attention from students so that they are involved in schoolwork and projects. CKH is used to motivate students through a lunch at the end of the day.
Grecia and I surveyed 5th and 7th grade students, and the majority of students feel safe at GIS because of the principles of CKH and the IB learner profile traits.
Sam and I surveyed student athletes on their thoughts and experiences. Majority of the PYP volleyball team said that they enjoy competing with other schools as they get an insight on the skills of other student athletes. NYP volleyball team talked about how teamwork is a key element for collaboration. The NYP flag football team stated that the best part of sports is the creativity and friendship they build along the way.
We have many great after-school clubs for students to participate in. We have clubs like tap and ballet, Lego robotics, jewelry making, fitness, STEM engineering, sketching, sewing, esports, 3D printing, and culinary arts.
IB projects are completed in 5th and 8th grade. We recently started to develop a plan for the community project. Students research the various needs in their community, focusing on one need they wish to resolve. We develop an action plan using the design cycle. After we complete the project, GIS students are invited to watch our presentations. 5th grade exhibition allows students to demonstrate their understanding of an issue or opportunity they have chosen to explore and present their ideas to GIS students.
Next slide, please. VAPA, or Visual and Performing Arts, is thriving at GIS. We have a full-time music teacher and a full-time art teacher. Both are fully credentialed in their subjects and bring many years of experience to our school. Students have an opportunity to learn the history and techniques of both art and music, and to showcase what they have learned in presentations for the community.
Student council represents the student's mind and body. Student council members each have their own position and work together to organize school events and activities. Members run the meetings. For example, the president calls the meetings to order. During this time, we build teamwork and leadership.
Snack Shack is a student council-led fundraiser that raises money for PBIS rewards and Student of the Month rewards. The student council picks the items ordered. We inventory and organize the items. Student council members volunteer their time to be cashiers and clean up. Our treasurer works with Ms. Cooper to count the funds and fill out the ASB forms required.
Students are rewarded with PBIS points, which they use in our PBIS reward store. Student council votes and gives ideas on what to order for the PBIS reward store. When the orders arrive, members help organize the items and place them on our shelves. Students get to order once a month. Student council members also help at the distribution of items, or they're similar to an Amazon-like delivery.
Every month, teachers choose a Student of the Month based on an IB learner profile trait. This month, we recognize students who are thinkers at our first in-person rally of the year. Our student council helped run the rally with a fun game for both teachers and students.
Next slide, please. We have multiple evening events at every school year, where parents are invited to come to school and celebrate all students. The first is Back to School Night, where parents can meet their new child's teacher. In October, we have IB Night, where students showcase how IB is an active part of our daily learning. In April, we have Open House to celebrate how much we have learned through the school year.
Canned Food Drive is one of our community outreach that we often do. Students from kinder to 8th are encouraged to donate canned food. The class with the most cans is rewarded with a party. This year, we had a successful canned food drive with 19 boxes that we will be submitting.
We are excited to have our first ever Family Literacy Night this February. Families will be invited to join us to learn about the science of reading and what it takes to become a proficient reader. The night will be fun with Sammy from Sammy Circuit, as he will be signing books for students to take home for free.
We are excited to announce that we will be collaborating with Apex for the first time. Apex is a nonprofit company that will be on campus the week leading up to Jogathon. We will be delivering 6 10-minute leadership lessons to classrooms.
Winter Celebration is our annual performance. Every grade level has a chance to perform for our school community. Songs are performed in English, Spanish, and Russian to celebrate winter and winter holidays.
Our School Maker Fair is an event where students have an opportunity to celebrate invention, creativity, curiosity, and hands-on learning.
Next slide, please. Buddy Time is where older grades are connected to younger grades and visit them each month. The students choose a book to read with their buddy. In upcoming months, we will start doing crafts and projects to make the activity more fun and engaging.
Red Ribbon Week represents the importance of living a drug-free life. We have dress-up days and different types of activities and morning shout-outs.
Sammy Circuit is a program used with our PYP students that promotes exercise and using positive self-talk to build positive behaviors at home and school. We just had Sammy on campus for 3 assemblies where PYP students, teachers, and staff worked out with Sammy.
Every morning, our Speaker of the House helps us with the morning shout-outs. We start with the Pledge of Allegiance and follow up with upcoming events, general school news, and information about world holidays and historical changemakers from around the world. Our morning shoutouts is a CKH-style program that gives staff an opportunity to give shoutouts to anyone who has helped them or done something kind.
Thank you for this opportunity to present our school.
Thank you for the opportunity to be here. We are so proud of you. I was saying we are so proud of you, so proud of what's happening at your school, and for you to come and deliver such a profound example of what you're doing is just great. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. And I know the superintendent wants to beat me saying that.
Well, I'll let the board have some comments, and then of course I have some. You may have questions.
Board members?
I just said it was very great. I just looked at a young lady on TV before I came here, and she was just like you guys, speaking very well. And so I've seen this in Sunday school on Sunday. A young lady, 10-year-old, got up and talked. And so I'm so proud of you young people that it's just got me, I don't know where.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Any other comments, board members?
Great job. Wonderful presentation, very informative. And thank you for taking a leadership role and representing your students, your fellow students to present tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Anything else? I am so proud to meet the president of the Student Council. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Before we do anything else, I know some parents came with you. Will the parents please stand so we can recognize you and say thank you. Thank you. First of all, thank you for taking the time to bring the students here, and thank you for having such wonderful students, because without your support, they couldn't do what they're doing. Oh, we have a little one back there too. Hi, sweetie. Thank you so much. And we have staff members who came with them. So will all the staff members who are here? I know some, oh, there you are. All right. Okay, thank you. Thank you, staff members, for your hard work. because if it were not for you, they would not be where they are at this point. So thank all of you. Okay, I think we want to have a picture with you guys.
Yes, we're going to take a picture, and before we come down, I just also want to say thank you to both of you. So proud of you. Good job. I love that you actually asked other students. So you did a student survey, you got data and input from your fellow students. So great job. Very proud of both of you. Thank you, Madam President. We're going to come and take a picture with.
I know you will probably want to leave now so we can get home and get ready for tomorrow. So thank you, all of you, for coming.
And hopefully your teachers will give you a pass on homework tonight because you were at the board meeting.
Okay, and our next item on the agenda is internships and work-based learning update. That's Ms. Ashley again, huh? Yes.
All right, good afternoon, Superintendent Sample, President Campbell, Board, and Cabinet members. It's my pleasure to be here today to share about the work we're doing around work-based learning and internship opportunities for our students. I'd like to take a moment also to introduce our work-based learning coordinator, Tim Sprinkles, who has played a pivotal role in this work as well. All right, so the College and Career Department is relatively new. We were developed last year to support students in their efforts to be prepared to meet the outcomes of the portrait of a GCC graduate. Our mission as a department is to support all educators and students in our organization to help them make strides to meet these outcomes throughout their educational journey, even starting in TK. So to do this, they need experiences outside the classroom to reinforce their learning and to help them navigate the world around them. And that's where work-based learning comes in. So what is work-based learning? It really is a continuum where early in education, it starts with just career and worldly awareness, and it goes through the upper grades into more deeper career exploration. And then in the high school side, it becomes more of that preparation for life after high school and finding out what they want to do with their potential careers. I do want to point out that within this continuum, there's guest speakers to internships, and you don't have to go through it just from awareness to preparation. That even at the high school side, students continue to learn different careers, so they may go back and forth within the continuum as they learn and explore. So our focus really around work-based learning is to increase student agency, competence, and confidence as they transition to next steps after high school, to scale student participation in work-based learning experiences and internships in a sustainable way. So we're just starting that work, and we want to scale it to make sure every student gets these opportunities. We want to enhance academic outcomes through work-based learning opportunities, and to sustainably increase student participation and get all students into internships. So how are we doing that? It really starts with professional development for our staff. So this year has been a real big focus where Tim and I are going into the different professional development, like the staff meetings with all of the schools, and really having a dialogue about what it means to be college and career ready and how that ties to the outcomes of the portrait of a GCC graduate. We also talk with our elementary teachers about how work-based learning opportunities can enhance the academics, really making that real-world relevance, making the learning stick and be meaningful for students. And introducing students to career exploration earlier in their educational journey to help prepare them for deeper experiences in high school. We have also done this work to support and embed intentional work-based learning connections into the core content lessons, and helping teachers take ownership of the career and college preparation. Also, even down into the elementary grades, helping the teachers and all educators understand the different ways that students can become college and career prepared on the dashboard in high school, help start that conversation early so that they, as they go through middle school and get to high school, they have a better understanding of the different ways that they can be considered college and career prepared. So what are we doing at each of the levels to support this work? We're starting in elementary by leveraging and expanding on the school events that are already happening. I want to really emphasize that we don't want to add another thing. Work-based learning is not another thing. It really should be integrated into the work that everyone is doing to, again, make that learning stick, make it relevant. So many of our elementary schools have wonderful school events that already have strong career ties to it. So we're looking on how are we building on both the frequency and the scale of those to just continue to build towards excellence. We're also helping our teachers to bring more guest speakers onto campus. Guest speakers aren't just for career day, right? So if a math teacher is having trouble helping students understand, basic geometry, having a construction worker come in and talk about how they use geometry because houses have to be in square, right? Or how they use measurements, simple measurements. So really making it applicable and having the students see it in a different perspective helps them understand the learning from a different point of view. And then just career connections on field trips. We have a wonderful field trips in our elementary programs. But we talked about, like, for example, going to the Sacramento Zoo. They see the animals, they're learning about biology and different, types of animals. But what about learning about what it takes to run a zoo? Who are the people behind the scenes? What does it take to become a zookeeper or even the manager of daily operations? So seeing that behind the scenes also gives them a fuller scope of what those experiences can do for them. In the middle school level, middle school programs are perfect for bringing in work-based learning because students are really, really craving meaning in their learning. So why does this matter? This is a great place to bring in guest speakers. But more importantly, we are looking to support our middle schools with rolling out more formalized career exploration programs. So we're using a vetted curriculum like Paxton Patterson units, along with some really cool virtual reality headsets that offer virtual reality job shadows in high interest, but also high risk careers where you couldn't do a job shadow. So one of them was we got a chance to try it, a couple of us, when we were demoing it. And let me tell you, it was so engaging. one of the experiences was to be a pole line worker, and you were up like 300 feet in the air trying to catch these rotating things from a helicopter and plug them in to make the tower work. And it was terrifying. I will say, like, you're standing on your flat feet, but you feel like you're up in the air and you have that scared, like, fear of heights. So it really helps students understand, hey, maybe if I have a fear of heights, maybe this isn't the job for me, so I'm going to try something new. It's really great, and I believe that EPIC and a couple other of our middle schools are actually pursuing these and implementing them as we speak. Our middle schools are also using U-Science and Pathful at SAVA and CCCS. Those are other formalized career exploration programs. And then also, we're really facilitating more collaboration between our middle schools and high schools. So our work-based learning doesn't have to just be with our outside partners. It can also be within our own organization, and having our high school students in our CTE programs do little mini job shadows with our middle schoolers to see what are you learning in high school, and how can there be some mentorship within our own student populations. Now, in our high schools, we started our more formalized internship program last year at SAVA. So we had a chance to pilot this with a number of our partners, and it's going really well. So this year, we're currently looking to expand the number of our internship placements. CCCS also has had a few of their internships embedded in their capstone programs. So for both Futures and CCS, we're exploring more formalized job shadow opportunities and really diving into getting more students involved in summer internship programs. And then really on the exciting side, our own GCC departments here in the central office are really excited after the College and Career Fair to involve more students in the central office and expand our internship and job shadow opportunities here within our organization. So currently, just from our last year's data, we had over 40 students organization-wide participate in the internship process. And we continue to work with the SAVA team to refine our internship package and expand implementation at our other high schools. So some of the wins and opportunities with our internship program specifically, our wins, we have great student interest and buy-in. Students really want to be a part of these internship programs, not only because it provides opportunities that they normally may not have chosen, but it also gets them started with networking and making those connections for the next step in their careers. I'm also really proud to report that we've had 100% attendance rate in the workshops that have accompanied those internships, not one absence. And this is because the work that they're doing is directly related to their success in the internship. So they have an opportunity to collaborate together, to problem solve, bring back their experiences, and really help each other navigate whatever's happening in their internship placements. And then we also have had substantial grant funding for building these programs in terms of staffing and growing the programs. And part of that is through the Golden State Pathways grant. Some opportunities that we have moving forward into this year and next is really finding paid placements with businesses for internships for our students. We want to value our students' time and make these rich experiences, and we know that many of our students want to work and need to work. So how do we get them placed in high mobility, high quality placements where they have a chance for a career rather than them going and earning minimum wage in a job that may not have as much upward mobility. We're also exploring how we scale this program while still remaining flexible to meet business needs. One size does not fit all with internships, so we're really looking at how do we sustainably make this a bigger program across all of our sites and still be able to meet the needs of both our students and our businesses. So with that kind of push and pull. And then we're still exploring more funding opportunities to support and pay our students for their non-paid internships, because believe it or not, a lot of educational grants, you cannot pay your students for these programs that we are building. So we are exploring creative solutions to be able to compensate our students. And then some of our goals for this year, one was already mentioned, that we had our first ever GCC College and Career Fair, where all of our high schools came together at the Sava Natomas campus. And I just want to thank the Sava team for hosting and just for all the effort in making that, that College and Career Fair a success. We had over 300 students attend, and with over 60 partners. So that was really a wonderful, wonderful event. We're also looking to expand work-based learning and industry partnerships at each school. And part of that is creating a master partner list that's categorized by different levels of commitment. So whether they want to just come to our college and career fairs, whether they want to be an internship host or come in as a guest speaker, we're working with site admin and the community engagement department to make sure that we have a centralized list that everyone can access and tap into. We're also looking to explore pre-apprenticeship and apprenticeship registration with the Department of Apprenticeship Standards. There's significant funding there as well for at least this year and possibly years to come. So we're exploring what that might look like and how do we align our programs to be to have a pipeline into registered apprenticeships. And then, of course, we're always looking to find more money. So securing more funding opportunities to build these programs for students. So hoping this works, but I just wanted to bring this to a close by celebrating our impact and sharing with you a student testimonial from our College and Career Fair. One more time? All right.
Can you introduce yourself? My name is Kamara Quib, and I go to the Sava Power in campus. And what grade are you in? I'm a junior. And you were in attendance at the GCC College and Career Fair. What organizations did you visit? I visited the behavioral technicians, the Black Student Union. It wasn't exactly called that, but overall it's just based on helping Black students and the Black community overall. And why do those two organizations stand out to you? Well, I am mixed. I'm Black, white, and Asian, and I like to be very involved in the community and things like that, especially with, you know, my minority groups that I am, you know. And with the behavioral technician, I have my little brother who is autistic, and growing up, like, I've always felt very, very easily connected with those with autism and or are on the spectrum, and it feels very good in my heart whenever I am kind and helping these people, becoming friends with, you know, those, and or standing up for those who aren't very, very capable for themselves. Yeah. And what do you think you're going to do with this information next? Well, there was also a lot of other organizations that caught my eye, you know, especially with volunteering and, you know, things with public community service and things like that. And I honestly just want to do more for myself and my community and things like that. It's really kind of simple gestures, you know, and it just makes me happy, you know. It sounds like you got to make some good connections with people and organizations that you can volunteer with and potentially have a future employment with too, right? Yeah. Any other takeaways that you want to share from the fair? I think it was very fundamental. I met a lot of new people and got more understanding of many organizations and found organizations that I didn't even know existed. Like, there's this one in particular that was where you are the one providing certificates for those who need certificates for, like, jobs and things like that. And it's a state job, so, you know, having a state job is very beneficial for anybody living in the States, you know? So I feel like that was pretty cool to learn about and talk about. Although, like, it's not really on my path right now. It is also just nice to know.
Thank you so much for sharing.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Any questions?
Board members, yes, Jack?
Yes, I keep forgetting to use the microphone. Extremely impressive. Congratulations. I particularly, the 100% attendance. We ought to start using that, some of the techniques as a model and see if we can build on it. I'm interested, do you get any feedback from the parents about their sons and daughters participating in the program? And then could you expand a partnership with the Los Rios Community College District? Are you doing the, the 2+2 type programs where that student, a couple of years in high school and then move on into a career path? Anyway, thank you again and congratulations.
Thank you. I'll start with the first question around the parent involvement. The parents are involved from the very beginning with the internship program. So they're a part of, they sign the agreement alongside the student based on, like, we have parent responsibilities outlined to make sure that their child has transportation and everything else that they need. And we actually do a signing day for each round where the students and the parents meet with the internship host, and we celebrate them as like they're committing to this internship. So the parents are involved with that and maintain close contact with the school throughout the process. In terms of Los Rios, we have not yet made the internship connection with them, but we do have a partnership with dual enrollment with ARC, and many of our students attend multiple Los Rios campuses for dual enrollment. So that number is steadily growing each year as a result of our CCAP MOU with them. Yeah.
Again, great presentation. Thanks, Ashley. Can you expand at all on bringing in content experts and then connecting that to some of the curriculum? Have you had some experiences already, or are you at kind of the beginning stages of getting those people from the community into the classroom?
Yeah, we have not yet formalized that process, but that's actually our next step with our CTE programs, is to create formalized advisory boards that will help regularly vet our programs, not just the curriculum, but also our equipment and infrastructure to make sure it's up to industry standards. We've been doing that for a while informally with our partners as we give tours and debrief with them, but we want to formalize it moving into this year.
Thank you.
I think this is time for me to congratulate all of you for the job well done. I had the opportunity to visit the career fair, career and college fair, and it was really interesting to see so many participants, the students and the vendors. I was really impressed with the work that has been done. And I want to publicly thank Paula Reynoso, who was my guide. She was with me for about 3 hours or so. And we saw all of the vendors, we visited, and she was just wonderful. So would you please take back my appreciation to her and how much I really appreciated her being with me and just seeing all of the activities. I was impressed with the airlines vendor, Southwest, all of the military, the highway patrol, just everything that you could almost want to be there was there. So I really want to thank you too, personally, and all of you for the hard work that you did to get that event And I enjoyed talking with the students too, particularly the future students at the end. Had a chance to visit with them on the bus and talk with them. So it was a great, great day for me. And I thank you for your hard work. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for this wonderful report. It summarized everything that I saw. Thank you. And now we continue with our board minute, more study session, and that's item 3, data update on CASP. Ms. Joy, are you going to start it off? How are you feeling?
I'm okay. but
Okay.
I'm not going to do the full presentation
Yeah.
today, but I did want to take a minute to just greet you and to invite Ashley, our Director of Academics, to present today. And I want to affirm her for the work that she does related to testing state assessments for our organization. Yes, she definitely deserves it. She is responsible for setting up and implementing testing timelines for iReady, for CASP, for our California Science Test, for our English Language Proficiency Assessment, for our Physical Fitness Test. She is our dashboard coordinator and responsible for our SARCs. She also is responsible for all of the interim assessments and for teachers to be able to access those reports through SIRS, not forgetting the work she does for individual students for accommodations and modifications for all of those testings. So her work, along with partnering with our data department, it really is the heart of what we do as an educational organization. So thank you, Director Cal, for your work, and thank you for stepping in tonight.
Thank you. Good evening, Madam President, esteemed board members, Superintendent Sample, and Cabinet. Thank you for the opportunity to present our state testing data and share an update on our progress. All of our GCC schools work tirelessly to provide high-quality educational programs that meet the needs of our students. And I'm proud to present the results of our efforts as reflected in the recently released California Assessment of Student Performance and Progress CASP data made public on October 10th. At GCC, we're fully committed to ensuring that all students leave our schools academically prepared for their future goals. And CASP is a key metrics we use to measure this progress. Let's begin by reviewing GCC's overall performance. As shown in the chart on the screen, GCC schools generally followed the state's trend of stronger performance in English language arts compared to mathematics. However, I'd like to share a reason to celebrate. You're going to hear multiple reasons, but one now. For GCC schools, COA, EPIC, Futures, and GIS saw their English learners subgroups outperform the state's EL subgroup average for both English and math. Before we dive into each school's individual results, I'd like to highlight our completion rates. While this differs from the state's participation rate, it is a critical indicator of our commitment to ensuring all eligible students complete their assessments. Our schools prioritize testing completion because this data is invaluable in shaping our educational programs and supporting students' future opportunities, such as qualifying for the Seal of Biliteracy. Now let's take a closer look at how each of our schools performed. Starting with Community Collaborative Charter School, CCCS had about 15% of their students meeting or exceeding the standard in English and 7.5% in math. Notably, CCCS saw significant growth in their students with disabilities subgroup, outperforming the state's overall growth for ELA and math. Community Outreach Academy. Community Outreach Academy had about 31% of students meeting or exceeding the standard for English language arts and 28.5% in math. The school saw overall growth, particularly among their English learner, socioeconomically disadvantaged, and students with disabilities subgroups. The COA English learners subgroup outperformed the state's English learners subgroup in both subjects, a remarkable achievement for an LEA where about 73% of their student population falls into this classification. EPIC, with 23% of students meeting or exceeding the standard in English language arts and 31% in math, EPIC made strong strides, particularly in math, where they saw a 5.5% growth. English learner students at EPIC made great progress in both English language arts and math. And this achievement is reflected in the fact that the EPIC EL subgroup also outperformed the state's EL subgroup average for both content areas. Futures High School. Futures showed impressive growth, with 38% of students meeting or exceeding the standard in English and 21% in math. Growth was evident in the English learner, socioeconomically disadvantaged, and students with disabilities subgroups. And the Futures EL subgroup specifically outperformed the state's EL subgroup in both subject areas. Gateway International School had 46% of students meeting or exceeding the standard in English language arts, 35% in math, surpassing the state's average in math by 0.14%. Their English learner and socioeconomically disadvantaged subgroups outperformed the state's subgroups in both subjects as well. Higher Learning Academy reported 20% of students meeting or exceeding the standard in English language arts and 9% in math. This is positive growth, increasing English by 2.62% and math by 2.01% from the previous year, with growth in both their English learner and socioeconomically disadvantaged student subgroups as well. Sacramento Academic Vocational Academy, SAVA, TRUSD. This school had 24% of students meeting or exceeding the standard in English and 2.5% in math. SAVA Twin Rivers made notable progress, especially with their students with disabilities, who improved from 0% meeting or exceeding the standard in English in 2023 to 4.55% in 2024. It's a lot of progress for 1 year. Another important data piece for SAVA Twin Rivers is that the number of students scoring in the standard not met range for English decreased by 12.70% in just 1 year's time. SAVA Elk Grove, with 21% of students meeting or exceeding the standard in English language arts and 4% in math. SAVA Elk Grove increased their math score by 1.33% overall and reduced the number of students with a standard not met score in math by 4.26%, again, in just 1 year. And last but not least, SAVA Sac City saw 17% of students meeting or exceeding the standard in English and just over 1% in math. SAVA Sac City showed positive growth in both subjects, with the 4.32% increase in English and a 0.03 increase in math. They also saw a decrease in the number of students with standard not met scores, including a 2.17% decrease in English and a 1.87 decrease in math. Next, let's review the California Science Test, also called the CAST results. While the CAST is not a new assessment, it is a new indicator on the California dashboard starting this year. Science is an area where most of our schools have shown positive growth. However, when compared to the state average, it's clear that we must continue supporting our schools and improving their science outcomes. This is something we'll need to address moving forward to ensure our students are meeting state expectations. Finally, let's take a look at GCC-wide performance. While we do not have traditional district-level data, we've aggregated the data across our schools for a comprehensive view. You've seen how our schools performed as individual entities, but it's also helpful to see how our organization is doing as a whole in a little more detail. Overall, GCC has made about a 2.32% improvement in English, though we've seen a slight decrease of about 0.62% in mathematics. This data tells us that while we're moving in the right direction, we must focus on the fidelity of our Tier 1 instruction. As the saying goes, you cannot intervene your way out of a Tier 1 problem. Ensuring the highest quality core instruction across all schools is critical to long-term success. In addition to a robust Tier 1 program, we must continue implementing Tier 2 and Tier 3 supports for students who need additional help. Our professional development efforts, ongoing curriculum refinement, and data-driven school improvement plans will guide our work. We'll also continue our focus on supporting the whole child and empowering our staff, whose daily efforts are essential to our students' success. As we move forward, we'll continue to use assessment data to measure our progress toward the portrait of a graduate, our guiding vision for student success. This data serves not only as a tool for improvement, but also as a reminder of our commitment to providing high-quality education for every single student. Thank you for your time and attention. I'm happy to answer any questions the board might have.
Yes, Mr. Turner.
I want to thank you both very much. It's a extremely informative, and it truly is maybe a snapshot at a particular time of Gateway Community Charters. I don't necessarily agree sometimes with the methodology and the approach that state is taking, but I think it's necessary for us to look at this data. Could you expand in your experience? I'm still trying to get an overall picture of the learning loss that we suffered as a result of the pandemic. I believe that we're going to take a generation of students that are going to take that's my overall view of it, to recover from those years of lost learning. So what's your sense of what happened to those students at that time, and how are we recovering? Because in a number of your areas, you're really showing significant growth because they're back in the classroom. So anyway, if you could elaborate on that, I would appreciate it. Again, very informative. It's the information we really need to look at.
Absolutely, and you're correct in that there was a lot of learning loss due to the pandemic, and we've seen that. If you look back at 2015, 16, 17, there was definitely an upward trajectory in our schools and in the state as a whole, and that trajectory went down during the pandemic, but we are coming back out of it, and there is positive growth, again, with our LEAs, as you saw, and with the state as a whole. Looking down into the data more deeply, those students who were kindergarten, first grade, in those foundational grade levels during the pandemic, you can absolutely see the impact of those that loss of learning during that time. But our schools overall, I think, are doing a really great job to address those needs, definitely utilizing the professional learning department and all of the intervention systems that they're rolling out. We've been able to provide the supports our students need. Thank you.
And I just want to comment on that, too. It's not only just GCC, it's statewide. Yeah, it's national, really, but we have been getting reports that, statewide, the lost learning is very evident, and we're doing what we can to make sure that we're addressing that need. Yeah.
Absolutely, we're making up for lost time while also ensuring our students are getting their new lessons.
Yes. Mr. Block?
Yeah, I was going to say, my niece called me from Texas, and they was dealing with the same sort of problem. She was asking me all this stuff, and I would say, hey, I got the same problem here that you got. A little worse, so, because she's a teacher in Dallas, so, we just seeing this all over. So I'd like to see some growth, especially in math. Math has really kind of hurt us, so hurting the whole country, really.
Yes, it truly is, and our math is, as a state, is definitely behind English language arts, but we do see a lot of growth organization-wide in our math, and a point of celebration, EPIC actually was the reverse, and their math is actually performing really well.
Any other comments or questions or thoughts? Thank you so much, and it wasn't that bad, was it? See?
No, it wasn't. Thank you.
You did a wonderful job. I mentioned that because she said she was so nervous at the beginning, and I told her, hey, we're just not going to do much, just listen. So thank you so much. You did a great job of bringing the information to us. We really appreciate you, Ashley. All right. And now we're continuing with our board minutes, our board meeting. And we are at, board members, the consent agenda items. And for the audience, the adoption of the GCC board meeting minutes of 10/15/24, personnel consent agenda, and purchases over 30,000. And you have received all of this information in your backup. So I'm now ready for a motion.
I move approval.
Move approval.
Second.
Second. Any discussions, questions, anything on the items of the consent agenda? Hearing none, roll call. Mr. Mark Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Harry Block?
Yes.
Mr. Bruce Mandrek?
Yes.
Mr. Jack Turner?
Yes.
Lily Campbell, yes. So the consent agenda items have been approved unanimously. Okay, we are now down to curriculum and instruction. And tonight, we have a public hearing and action, expanded learning opportunity program plan. And I'm ready to open the hearing. The board will now open the public hearing on the expanded learning opportunity program plans for all GCC schools. Public comments. Are there any members of the public who would like to comment on this item at this time?
We have no comments.
Then we are ready.
Wonderful. Well, good evening, Madam President, board members, Mr. Sample, and cabinet members. As required by Ed Code Section 46120, I am here to present to you our expanded learning opportunity program plans for COA, EPIC, GIS, and HLA. These plans must be reviewed annually. They must be updated every 3 years and adopted by the board every 3 years as well. These plans outline the strategies to enhance enrichment and learning outside of our regular school hours, like Lego robotics, esports that you heard the GIS students talk about today, and these help to support our students' growth and engagement. So at this time, I'll entertain any questions or comments. I believe you've already received the plans.
Yes, we have received the plan. Board members, do you have questions or comments that you would like to have answered based upon the plans, the 15 pages of each school? Any comments? Hearing none? Hearing none. Okay, then we will close the public hearing at this time, and we will entertain a motion.
I move approval.
Move approval?
Second.
It has moved, we have a second. Any other discussion, comments, questions? Hearing none, we will do roll call on the public hearing, Expanded Learning Opportunities Program. Mr. Mark Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Harry Block?
Yes.
Mr. Bruce Mandrek?
Yes.
Mr. Jack Turner?
Yes.
Lily Campbell, yes. The Expanded Learning Opportunity Program plan have been passed and approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we are now at board comments. Do we have board comments at this time before we move to closed session? No board comments at this time? Well, then we shall get ready to go for closed sessions. And we have 2 items at closed session. Closed session employee personnel matters pursuant to Government Code Section 54957. And item 2, closed session conference regarding real estate negotiations pursuant to Government Code 54956.8. So we will go into closed session, and we shall return after closed session with results. So thank you so very much. For those of you who will stay and those who are leaving, thank you for being here with us tonight. Thank you. Back from closed session, and information items only, no action was taken. And so with that, we will get ready to close out our meeting for today. And do we have any more board comments? Closing comments? Announcement of the next board meeting?
It will be December
10th, I
10th.
believe. December 10th, yes.
Yes.
December 10th at 4:45 will be our next board meeting here at the complex. All right, anything else, closing comments?
Other than just from staff, if you have time in your calendar tomorrow, please stop by the Care Fair.
Yeah.
As well as our offices will be closed for the Thanksgiving break from the 23rd.
Oh, 20th.
Thank you.
That was the November 20th to the 22nd.
November the 20th to,
No, for Thanksgiving
for
break.
Thanksgiving.
Correct. Well, business services works those Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah. But I just want the board to know, if you're trying to reach the superintendent's office, from the 25th to the 29th, we will be closed for Thanksgiving break.
All right, and if that's the end of it, I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second?
All right, moved in second, all in favor? Aye. The ayes have it. So thank you so very much, and we appreciate all of your time and energy and efforts. So have a safe trip home. Mr. Jack, drive carefully, everyone.
Careful.
All right, bye-bye.